Mark B, you put forward tactic 4 for us, which was escaping your ULA. What was your thinking behind this?
Yeah, this ULAs, I see so many of these. A lot of people come to me and they bring me ULAs they're either in or they're about to get into, and they say, you know, what can you do with this, or is this a good deal, or how do we get out of it? Let me just start this by talking about, you know, ULAs. They are very good for Oracle. They're very good for Oracle because they guarantee revenues for a fixed period of time. They lock out the competition. They restrict you and stop you taking advantage of third-party support, like Support Revolution. So for 3 reasons, Oracle loves ULAs, and obviously they pay good commission to their sales guys to sell them. So if they're pitching it to you for the first time, this is what they're trying to get out of it. If you're already in it, then let me just explain. I think there's 3 ways you can view a ULA, only one of which is good. The good place for a ULA is for a business that is growing very quickly, you know, where you can't even estimate your applications or database usage going forward. You just know you're going to need a lot because you are on a fast track. And if you're doing that, then a ULA can be a very good licensing tool to actually get free stuff from Oracle. And if you work it really well, you can take a real advantage of this and save an awful lot of money. But here's the thing. The other 2 camps of clients, i.e. the ones who are relatively static in their growth trajectory, certainly static in their use of Oracle, or are in a declining phase as a business or their use of Oracle, both of those 2 camps, ULA is not a good place to be because it is restrictive in what you can do and it's expensive. So if you're growing, take a look at ULAs. If you're static or declining, and bearing in mind the situation and the economy we're in at the moment, who's growing, very few I suspect, then maybe if you're in a ULA, you should consider getting out of it and getting out of it your next renewal. And the other point I'd make on ULAs, back to the diagram and slide here is, you know, they are misnamed. They are not unlimited. If you think about it, it's a limited term, typically 3 years. It's a limited set of Oracle products, you know, a stack of maybe 10 or 15, 20 of their products out of their hundreds they've got. So it's limited on products. Even the products themselves within a ULA can have a cap on them. So, I mean, that doesn't make sense. You put it in an unlimited license agreement, put a cap on your usage, but they're in there, and I see that very commonly. It's limited to geography often. It's limited to your company and your subsidiaries and your affiliates. If you've named them, if you haven't, they're not included. It doesn't include new products they bring out or acquire during the period of your agreement. So I could go on and on and on, but it's not unlimited. Just think of it as a different licensing agreement, but it has restrictions and it can be expensive if you use it in the wrong way. So just be very careful about that. And the other thing I mentioned on the slide here is there's a mistaken thing that Oracle clients think if you've got a ULA, then you won't get audited. Think again. Of course, stuff that's in the ULA, you know, it is unlimited, so therefore nobody's going to go around counting that. But they will still look at the products you've got in there, especially if you've got some that are capped, because there is, you know, there's a measurement to be done there. And maybe in the ULA, you know, with some of these products you download from Oracle, you get these additional packs added to it, which, you know, your users can turn on. Oops, but you're not for. Oops, and it's not in your ULA. Oh dear. And the audit team can find that. So even within a ULA, you can find audit non-compliance. And Oracle's team is really good at that. And most clients, they've got a stack of products within the ULA, but they typically have other Oracle licenses outside of the ULA for products that they don't want unlimited capability for. And of course, that's a classic place for Oracle audit teams to go crawling around as well. So don't think ULAs is audit protection. It is not. If you're buying it for that, it's a very expensive insurance policy that doesn't work. So avoid that. And then, of course, you know, my recommendation, if you're a business that's relatively static as a business and your Oracle estate static, or you're declining as a business, or your Oracle estate's declining, and you're in the ULA, then at your next renewal, you must get out. You must go through the certification process and get out of it, or else you're going to find yourself paying a fortune for a limited stack of products and getting diminishing value out of it. So get out of the ULA at your next time, but do understand, do read the certification process that ULAs have in them. You know, they're fairly prescriptive. You know, and there's nothing necessarily onerous about the way they're written, but you need to understand them and do it right. Because a lot of people come out of ULAs thinking, oh, I'll get out of my ULA and I'll save some money, I'll cut my costs. Well, often that's not what happens. But if you read the certification process right, and you've got a good handle on your estate, and you can minimize usage of products before you certify, you know, there are ways to come out of this in a more effective manner. But I think for those two sets of businesses, if you're static or you're declining business and use of Oracle, get out of the ULA at the next opportunity. By the way, once you're out of ULA and you're back into the normal world of licensing with Oracle, then you open up all sorts of options for you, including third-party support, of course. So, you know, that's a segue to you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. And I think the ULA, you know, people get into these things when they're so busy that they see, oh God, I've got, you know, my business is growing so fast, I'm going to have to implement systems everywhere. I know I need some kind of Hyperion or some e-business suite or some, you know, database or business intelligence. So I'm going to, you know, get them on the list, and I'm going to do those within the next 3 years. So I'll fix the price in there. I don't have to talk to Oracle again at a time. Of course, Oracle are just rubbing their hands at this point and say, well, you know, I don't think you can implement all those, but I'm going to sell them to you. And guess what? You know, when you've got the ULA in there, the Oracle prices don't go down. So when it comes to, you know, the kind of the renewal of the ULA, they're not going to let you kind of reduce the price. So again, with the current business climate and where you know, the amount of people at the moment that are growing exponentially that need ULAs, very few, I would suggest. So most people, I would recommend exactly what you said, Mark, which is certify out. The certification process is going to take you something like 12 months because you've got to understand everything. You've got to look at your ULA. You've got to understand what the outcome is you want to achieve, and you've got to engage Oracle, and you know, and all that stuff takes time. So the certification process is certainly a way out of it, but if you don't take control of it and take charge of getting yourself out of that ULA, Oracle are not going to help you get out of the ULA because the sales guy wants their commission. So, you know, if they promise to come back in a month or 2 months with some proposal, you know, in the meantime, you need to be doing what you need to be doing and making sure that everything's ready for you to go. So you need to be in control of everything in the process. So I would reiterate your point there, Mark, that let's start the certification process for most people, because now's the right time to do that. Get control of your estate again. I mean, I've heard of ULAs that people have been in for 15 years or more because it comes to the end of the ULA, they haven't understood what it is, how to get out of it, and Oracle goes, well, you know what, I'll roll it over for another period, and the customer goes, well, I'll do that then, and then I'll come back to it. But you know, you can't afford to do that. You know, businesses need to find money wherever they can these days, and understanding that ULA and certifying out of it is certainly high on the agenda.